Wargaming have released an enigma in the world of tanks, and yes, today's video will be looking at the T55 Enigma, how it plays in game, whether it's actually worth grinding all the way to season rank 100 where you can obtain it, and of course we'll be giving the rundown as to this vehicle, whether it really is as good as you may think. So in order to kind of fully gauge whether this vehicle is actually great, well, you have to look at the statistics, and the statistics say that it should be fairly good. It has a brilliant kind of top forward speed for a kind of heavy medium. It's going to play much like that. And of course, we'll be doing some live gameplay in today's video. It also gives you 165% silver, so you'll be getting an extra 65% on top of what you usually would get in a battle, which is massive, especially on Cold War. So this is going to be a silver farmer. It also has fantastic DPM. And in general, I'm really looking forward to actually testing it out. I think we'll give a full opinion in-game, and we'll see there whether it really does hold up to what I think it's going to be like. Of course, we will be putting on some ×2 silver boosters so that we earn a ton of money, since I almost have 600 of them. So I'll catch you in the game in just a second. So, start of the game. It is, of course, Pearl River, and we are going to be making our way into the centre of the map in Pearl River Upland. Since this tank is a medium / heavy, kind of brawling medium, I guess, because of the armor model, you can see a ton of spaced armor slapped on the front of this thing. Has such a weird turret, of course, but it's it's definitely an interesting tank out of them all. We're probably getting spotted by a light tank who's pushing aggressively. Hopefully we can get some shells into him, which we do manage to do. Obviously this guy is a YOLO wagon, and he doesn't know that people can actually aim on this game, and we can see that hopefully here as he tries to YOLO through the middle of the map. Of course, he's lost literally like 90% of his hit points for absolutely no reason, and that is usually the typical player on World of Tanks console. So anyway, with the Scorpion 90 out of the game, throwing himself away at the beginning, we can move forward, and we have got ourselves the next tank that we have in front of us, which is this Object 934, who's decided that he is indeed going to come forward. Can't quite get a shell on the Leopard here. Got a heavy tank that's now moved up. It's a T72, and we can test the armor against this thing, so maybe it will be good, maybe it won't. We place a nice round into him. He obviously goes for the shell onto us. Luckily we've got a ton of spaced armor, so rockets are not good against us, and you can kind of expect that with this thing. You can see this guy, he obviously doesn't know where to hit us, which is lovely, because he's obviously having a bit of a pain or a hard time doing it, and we're placing rounds into the T72's lower plate. Hopefully we can get a shot onto his side armor, which we do successfully do, and now we can push because the Object 934 is on reload with that rocket, and of course we don't want to be getting caught out, but the power to weight ratio of this thing is coming in here, and you can see it is very, very slow. But from this point we can go after this light tank should we wish to. Of course I'm a little bit hesitant to do that, so we're going to maybe turn around and actually go after the other tanks that are around. It's kind of important that we don't push too hard because we are on our own, and with the rockets that some of these light tanks get, it can be pretty meaty to come up against them, but you can definitely see the speed of this vehicle and how slow it can be. So at this point the light tank is obviously in a very bad scenario. He is waiting. We do our little kind of shot there. He obviously thinks that we can't hit him now, and you can see the outline here of the light tank, so we'll just go after him and be a bit of a pain in the backside. Of course he now bounces, and we're not going to bounce off of him, so he is fully out of the game. We took him out pretty nicely, and we can kind of spot the middle now against some of the opponents that are coming, although there's now a YOLOing T72 who's decided he's coming. We'll go in, we'll try and now reverse into both of them. We can put a round into the tracks of this guy, and now at least one of them is going to take a ton of damage from our light tank. So yes, although the YOLOing T72s that are always so much fun to play against in Cold War did get us, we still did 5,700 damage, so it wasn't an awful round. And of course, yes, the YOLO T72s did take a few hits in return. So let's jump into the next gameplay, and you'll see me in just a second. So we did manage to win the game, and we also came top within the game as well. So with that success, we picked up nearly 400,000 silver, and not quite a first class, but not far off with the 95%. Of course, very, very good game and a good introduction to the T55 Enigma. Now then, we are of course in the next game of this video, and it is the last penultimate game, so it could be terrible, it could be amazing, of which we have no idea because this is of course live. But the T55 Enigma, so far, what have I found within that last game? Well, you saw that it was very, very slow going up the hills, and you can expect that with the 14 horsepower to ton ratio, and as soon as you start going up them, you can see your speed completely dropping so low, to the point where it feels almost like playing a mouse when going up these slopes. You can see here we're going to lose pretty much all of our power, and there you go, you are sitting duck. Whereas other mediums, like a T55 that maybe doesn't have all of this spaced armor and armor model, would be able to easily go up that hill. Whether or not you'll get caught out all of the time by that, I'm not entirely sure, and it's yet to be seen, but I can definitely see that that will be a problem for some people as they're kind of moving forward and trying to have these fantastic games with this vehicle. And I definitely think that for the person that wants a traditional medium tank, this probably isn't the one for you, because it's not going to be that traditional medium, but it definitely will be a consistent one because of the 440 Alpha and the fantastic reload that this vehicle gets, that you can take advantage of. There's going to be someone on the hill, I can almost guarantee it. There always is. So we'll pull back slightly, and hopefully we'll be able to get some shells into some of these opponents. You see this Magash, who is on the enemy team. That was the previous season reward from a couple seasons ago, I believe. But yeah, we're going to try and help out our teammate here, who's getting YOLO'd by all of the fantastic players on the enemy team. And hopefully we can actually punish some of them for actually doing that. You can see here, fantastic DPM. And hopefully we can continually bash out some of these rounds. This is obviously not the ideal scenario for the enemy tanks on the team, because they are going to have to deal with us coming towards them and basically firing up into us, which is not an ideal kind of situation for them. But we definitely want to be dishing out damage as quickly as we can. We've got tanks coming from the side, we're getting surrounded at this point, and so we definitely need to be dealing these shells of damage as quickly as possible. Now they've kind of pushed up a little bit too far, to the point where we can no longer get easy shells on them. We can see that there is this TCS who's sat out in the open. We try and go for the nice shot on him, but unfortunately it doesn't work out all too well. The kind of Magash 5 then goes into this position, and hopefully we can kind of continue with our little field day of just trying to rip holes in the opponents. But unfortunately we've only picked up 2,000 damage, so that's 5 shells with this vehicle, and so yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. We're getting penned straight through the turret, which is very, very annoying considering that this is supposed to have good turret armor. We're going to get YOLO'd in a minute, I can almost guarantee it. Put another shell into the Magash, and now it's time to kind of fall back down this hill, because we've got opponents now rushing from all directions, and we need to be a little bit careful. You can see we can put a few rounds into them as they kind of push, and hopefully we can continually do that. You're seeing this Magash still going for me. Obviously he wants nothing else but to take me out. And with 3,000 damage done, it's not particularly a great game for Cold War. Yes, it would be a good game for something else, but it isn't in this one. So we put a nice round into that Magash there, and hopefully we can continue. There are kind of so many tanks on the enemy team now just pushing, that we need to be very careful. Hopefully this Magash will just continue, which he does, and we definitely need to get rid of these tanks as quickly as possible, because they can definitely get some horrible shots into us, and that's not a good position for us to be in. We can now permanently track this T-72. Hopefully he doesn't turn around and get a shot into us. Luckily he doesn't, which is perfect. And now we can kind of deal with whatever's left. There's the TCS on the enemy team who's got 2 marks, so we want to be careful of him. Maybe this T-72 AV will do the exact same thing that his team did, and we can retrack him in position. So you can see the DPM of this tank coming in pretty clutch. Obviously just trying to go for the tracking shot on him, lock him down and get some assistance. You can see here now we can kind of push back down the hill and avoid getting hit. We've got the Magash on the enemy team proxying us, which is a bit annoying. Got the Sheridan now trying to push up and be a nuisance. And of course he's coming round to try and get the derp on me, or at least get the derp on our light tank here, and we'll put a nice round into him. Hopefully he doesn't then turn and snap onto us, because that would be annoying, and he does actually shoot our teammate, which means we're going to have to deal with him if we want to get him out of the game. I'm absolutely bottling it, but our teammate shuts him down, and now it's time to go after this Nagash, and now it's just this light tank on the enemy team, which can be devastating to deal with, so we need to get rid of him. That obviously has the auto-loading missile launcher that takes like 12 seconds to reload each missile, but that was a ton of fun. You can see him there as he's leaving or trying to leave. Hopefully we can get forward and actually spot him for our team so that they don't lose track of where he is. There you can see he just running away over in this direction. So hopefully we can catch him out. He spots us. We can still see him going away. We try and actually hit him, but we bounce, because typical of bouncing off of light tanks. Wouldn't be like World of Tanks console. You can see he's now moving. We put a round into him on the move. He's going to go down into the dip potentially. And hopefully we can catch him out down here. Not entirely sure. Is he going down, or has he gone around? I'm not entirely sure. Or has he just stopped? He may, I think he's just down here, so yeah. Need to be careful, because that does get the missile launcher that can take us out. And yes, we'll try and... There we go, nice one. So the Nagash seems so far a little bit good, because you've got the kind of DPM to be able to get games like this, where you can pick up 8,100 damage. But you've also got the kind of speed in some regard, nothing too spectacular where it's unbelievably fast, but you can definitely have some games where I guess you can go forward, you can be aggressive, and I always love playing aggressive tanks in World of Tanks console, so I guess this one is a good one for me. And personally, I think it would be a really great one if you're after trying to earn some silver, because you can see in those two games, yes, they were fairly good games. You know, we didn't get taken out straight away. And so we picked up 500,000 in the second one and 400,000 in the first one, meaning that we earned 900,000 in 2 games, which is unbelievable. And the economy's kind of broken at this point in World War II, in terms of if you play Cold War vehicles. So yeah, not a bad one at all. So yeah, really enjoying the T55 Enigma. Obviously, if you've played it, if you've got it somehow, or you've season pass skipped all the way to season rank 100, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this vehicle, or what you thought of the gameplay in today's video, and Wargaming releasing this weird looking T55 that is super slow, because of all of the spaced armor that it gets. But that spaced armor is pretty effective, and you could see there we could deal with the damage to make up for the loss of actual speed. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check out some of the other videos where we looked at the other season pass tanks, including the Cobra. So check out those on screen right now, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.